Now I'll be discussing the types of triangles with you all. So the first type of triangle is a scalene triangle. This is a triangle in which all the three sides are of unequal lengths and all the three angles are different from each other. So if we have a triangle ABC, which is a scalene triangle, then angle A, B and C will be different from each other, and the lengths AB, BC and CA will also be different from each other. The second type of triangle is an isosceles triangle. This is a triangle in which two out of the three sides of the triangle are equal to each other, while the third side is not equal to those two. Also, the angles opposite the two equal sides are equal to each other, while the third angle is not equal to those two. So if we have a triangle PQR in which PQ equals PR, an angle PQR which is the angle opposite PR, and angle PRQ which is the angle opposite side PQ are equal to each other, then we call this type of triangle an isosceles triangle. The third type of triangle is an equilateral triangle. This is a triangle in which all the three sides are equal to each other and all the three angles are equal to each other. Since the sum of the three angles is 180 degrees in a triangle, the three angles are all equal to 60 degrees. So if we have a triangle XYZ, then XY equals YZ equals ZX, and angle X equals Y equals Z equals 60 degrees. This is nothing but a type of a special case of an isosceles triangle. Now let's begin the triangle theorems. The first theorem is the triangle sum and exterior angle theorem. The triangle sum theorem is that the sum of the three interior angles of any triangle is equal to 180 degrees. So if we have a triangle ABC in which angle A equals X, angle B equals Y and angle C equals Z, then X plus Y plus Z is 180 degrees. For example, if X equals 70 degrees and Y equals 80 degrees, then X plus Y plus Z equals 180 degrees. So 70 plus 80 plus Z equals 180 degrees. Thus Z will be 30 degrees. Now let's do the exterior angle theorem. We know that X plus Y plus Z equals 180 degrees. Also, if we have a straight line, the straight angle formed is equal to 180 degrees. So this means that this angle here, Z plus P, is equal to 180 degrees. Thus, X plus Y plus Z equals Z plus P, as both are equal to 180 degrees. On cancelling Z from both from the LHS and the RHS, we get X plus Y equal to P. So in triangle ABC, X plus Y equals P. This is nothing but your exterior angle theorem. So if angle X equals 60 degrees and angle Y equals 70 degrees, then P will be 60 plus 70, which is 130 degrees. The second triangle theorem is the isosceles triangle theorem, which has two parts to it. The second part is the converse of the first part. Let me first give you an example of the theorem. If we have a triangle ABC in which the length AB equals length AC equals 7 units and angle ABC equals 40 degrees, then X can be nothing but 40 degrees. Now, if we have a triangle PQR in which PQ equals 5 units and angle PQR equals angle PRQ, which is 30 degrees, then Y can be nothing but 5 units. Let me generalize this. If we have a triangle ABC in which the lengths of the sides are PQR and the various angles are XYZ, if it's given that the length Q equals length R, then the angles opposite these sides must be congruent, which means angle Y must be equal to angle Z. Conversely, if angle Y equals angle Z, then the sides opposite these angles must be equal to each other, which means Q and R must be equal in length. Now let's move on to the third theorem, the triangle inequality theorem. The first part of this theorem states that the sum of the lengths of any two sides of a triangle must be greater than the length of the third side. So if we have a triangle ABC, then x plus y has to be greater than z, y plus z has to be greater than x, and z plus x has to be greater than y. The second part of this theorem states that the difference of the lengths of any two sides of a triangle must be less than the length of the third side. So the difference between z and y must be less than x. The difference between y and x must be less than z, and so on. Let me illustrate this through an example. If we are given that this figure must be a triangle and two sides are 7 and 9, what are the range of values that x can take? According to the first theorem, according to the first part of the theorem, the sum of the lengths of any two sides must be greater than the third side. So that means that the sum of these two sides, 9 and 7, must be greater than the third side, x. So x is less than 9 plus 7. Also, the difference between these two lengths has to be less than x. So x will be greater than 9 minus 7. That means that the range of values x can take in order for this figure to be a triangle has to be anything between 2 and 16. So say for example it's given that x equals 18 units, then this figure cannot be a triangle. Or if x equals 1 units, then the figure can't be a triangle. The fourth theorem is the side angle relationship theorem. Let me first demonstrate this through an example. In triangle ABC, the sides are BC equals 8, AB equals 5 and AC equals 7. From these three sides, since BC equals 8 is the largest size, the angle opposite this side, which is angle A, will be the largest of the three angles in this triangle. Consequently, since 5 is the smallest side of the three sides in this triangle, the angle opposite this side, which is angle C, will be the smallest from the three angles in the triangle, and as a result angle ABC will be the second greatest angle in the triangle. Let me show you another example. In this triangle, the angles are 30, 60 and 90. Since angle 30 is the smallest of the three angles in the triangle, the side opposite this angle, which is R, will be the smallest side. And since 90 is the greatest angle of the three angles here, the side P will be the greatest side among all these three sides because it is opposite the greatest angle. So P will be greater than Q will be greater than R. So let me generalize the statement. In a triangle, the longest side is opposite the largest angle. And in a triangle, the largest angle will be opposite the longest side. Similarly, in a triangle, the smallest side will be opposite the smallest angle, and the smallest angle will be opposite the smallest side. The fifth and the last triangle theorem is the mid-segment theorem. Let me first show you an example. If we've been given a triangle ABC in which the length in which AB equals 4 units, BC equals 8 units and AC equals 6 units, and we are given that D is the midpoint of line segment AB, which means that AD equals BD equals 2 units, and we've been given that E is the midpoint of line segment AC, which means AE equals CE equals 3 units. Then it follows that the line segment DE is parallel to line segment BC, and it's half the length of line segment BC, which in this case, it means that DE is 4 units. Let me generalize this. The line segment joining the midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side and equal to half its length. So if we've been given a triangle ABC in which x is the midpoint of AB and y is the midpoint of AC, then xy is half the length of BC and it's parallel to it.